Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your auction company?
Yeah, I'm Randy Ruhter. I'm president of Ruhter Auction and Realty Incorporated of Hastings, Nebraska, and we have another office in a neighboring town about 80 miles away of York, Nebraska.
Okay. What do you specialize in? What are some of the things you've sold?
Well, being in a very rural area, we kind of specialize in being diverse. We have to do everything from a few of the pots and pans auctions, like everybody starts out on, but our specialty probably would be ag real estate as well as ag and commercial equipment auctions.
What auctioneers influenced your career?
I think probably at first the two gentlemen that started me in business, and I did not have any formal training as an auctioneer. I just worked as a ringman for a couple of auctioneers back home, as Walter Aarons and Walter Fricke, and they were a big influence over me. Although they weren't very technical in nature, they were good workers and had good work ethics, and that's where I started my business with them. And then really getting to national, going to our first national conventions, I had the opportunity to meet Chuck Cumberland, who I thought an awful lot of. Tried to kind of tag on to some of the things he was doing, and another guy locally in Nebraska, Dean Fleming, who was also a big part of the national scene several years ago. He's passed away now, but he was a big influence on me as well, I do believe.
Well, you're a Hall of Fame auctioneer. What does it take to be a Hall of Fame auctioneer?
I tried to analyze that after I received that because I wasn't really sure why I received it, but I think dedication to the auction profession, being able and willing to give something back to the association that's given us so much, I think is probably taken into consideration, and I think how you're perceived within your community as well is a big part of that.
What advice do you have for upcoming auctioneers?
Get educated, which I didn't do. I think it's better to go to a good auction school, and there are several out there. I think they can equip you with the tools that you need to be a successful auctioneer, and then just persevere. Keep trying, because the road is not easy to get to the end that you want to get to, but for those that persevere, it is there.
Do you have a funny auction story?
Probably, and I've told it before, the very first item that I ever sold, and I was working with Robin Marshall as a ringman at a large consignment auction that my family was in charge of, and my dad had told Robin that he wanted me to sell a little bit that afternoon on some of the stuff that didn't amount to much, and so we got down the line of ways, and they turned the mic over to me, and I started selling, and it was an old John Deere wooden bottom manure spreader horse pull, and I started selling, and my wife's, wasn't my wife then, it was my girlfriend's father, was standing straight out from me. Every time I look at him, he'd nod his head, and so I went from $25 to $30 to $50 and sold it to my soon-to-be father-in-law. And that night he said, "I don't know why you dumped that manure spreader on me like that." And I said, "Well, you bid." He said, "No, I didn't bid. I was just saying you were doing a good job," and shaking my head. So the very first item that I sold, the buyer claimed he never bid on. I said, not a good way to start a career.
If you don't mind me asking, tell me, what was Robin Marshall like in his heyday?
Well, I think Robin's still in his heyday. He's not giving up. Robin was another guy I didn't mention as a mentor, but my family and his family, although we're very, very competitive in nature because we're next door neighbors, was always willing to share. And he and his brother Gene were very, very professional. My dad worked for their dad 35 years in their livestock auction barn, and they are a very auction-oriented family with a wonderful reputation.
Is there anything that you say, any one-liners or a filler word or anything that's unique to you or your company?
Oh no, we're real proud of our slogan. We established our logo several years ago, and then we put underneath of that logo as our slogan, the auction standard since 1967. And 67 being the year that I started in the auction profession. And some of my competitors said, "What does that mean, the auction standard since 1967? I said, "Well, we've tried to bring into the auction business all the new innovative things that we possibly can, and you guys are always copying, trying to keep up, and you're welcome to do that. But we believe that our company in our area is the standard of how an auction is supposed to be conducted."
Could you sell a John Deere manure spreader for us?
Again? Yeah, I'd be happy to. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a good John Deere manure spreader here. I'm going to get forward now. I got 25, down would have been down would have been 25, could have been 30, now 35, down would have been down would have been 40, 40, down would have been down would have been 45, $50, down 55, 55, sold right here, $50 bill.
Very good. On behalf of the National Auction Foundation, we appreciate the interview.